BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from pro, college basketball, UFC, MMA, and more. You always find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. With live betting options, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. Bet Online is truly the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to join and receive a 50% off welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure you use the promo code BLEAV, BLEAV, to receive your rewards. BetOnline.ag, where the game starts, was a proud sponsor of the Bossman Show on your radio. Folks, back here on the Bossman Show at the MAC, Conference Tournament Champions, Kent State, Golden Flashes coach Rob Senderoff. Coach Senderoff, good to talk to you again. How's life today, Kent, Ohio, man?
Everything's great in Kent, Ohio today, man. It's it's funny. It's snowing out here, but it feels like inside it feels like it's 75 and sunny.
I hear that, Coach, man. We talked earlier in the year, man. He was playing very, very well in the non-league play there, got to the MAC play there. Play really well. So how does it feel, man, to be going back for the first time since 17, man, knowing you've been putting in all this good work over the years?
Yeah, just happy for our players and happy for, our program and the city of Kent and Northeast Ohio and the university. It's a great feeling for all these people.
No doubt. Now, Coach, did you feel like back in workouts this summer that you had a team that get this accomplished this year? I know you had some guys coming back as well. Do you feel like when we got started in June there that, hey, we have some special here brewing this year?
Yeah, we brought a lot of guys back from a team that went to the finals last year in the conference tournament. So we certainly felt like, hey, we have a team that can do this. Everything's got to break your way. You got to have a little bit of fortunate stuff to go, your way throughout the year. But we've had a great year. Played incredibly up in Cleveland last weekend, and we really earned this right. So excited for these guys.
And Coach, talk about establishing the right habits, because to win 28 games, you have to establish the right habits every day, the process every day. Even on a mundane day, you still bring it the same way, whether it be drill work, all that kind of stuff. What about your team's process and their mindset and committing to good habits day by day?
Yeah, we practice hard. And if you come through our practices and our workouts, you'll see really, really competitive practices. And that starts with our seniors, in particular, Malik Jacobs and Sincere Carey. Those two kids really don't take practices off. They go hard every day. And we have a great scout team, too. I got a number of guys who are redshirting, a couple guys that are scholarship guys, a couple guys that are walk-ons that, could play, at other places, maybe on scholarship. And we call them the strike team, and they make our first unit and guys that are playing, they make them go hard every day too. So they're really competitive.
No doubt, Coach, as you know, man, competition breeds so much for a team, and watching your team play, man, I just love how they was connected out there, man. They was together. They was in tune to you guys as well. Talk about that as well. Have teams are successful when they're connected and together. And I'm saying every guy's something in their role. I know a couple of your guys play heavy minutes, but the other guys who are not playing as much are still engaged on the bench. Talk about the connectivity of your roster, Coach.
Well, we had the sixth man of the year in the league in Jalen Sullinger, and he certainly plays starter minutes, but he comes off the bench. And quite honestly, if he didn't win sixth man of the year, Chris Payton would have won it. It was one of those because both of them are like our six man. Chris Payton had 17 points in the MAC championship game, and again, he's more than willing to come off the bench. He's never even asked me about starting. Same with Jalen. And to have a good team, you have to have guys that are willing to sacrifice for the betterment of the group, and that's what they do.
No doubt, and that's so important, coach, because and I both know this. Role acceptance is big in basketball, which is very, very good to see your guys do that, man. And also, I want to ask you about Sincere Carry, man, Trim MVP. I get see him play. It was great to see him play. So talk about what he brings to your team on and off the court, coach.
Yeah. Well, listen, Sincere. It's hard for me to put into words just how much he's brought to this university and to our program. This is, without question, the most competitive guard I've ever coached. He's the best two-way player I've ever coached. And when I say two-way player, I mean he defends as well as he scores. He's a machine in practice. He never takes a practice off. He played 40 minutes almost every game in the MAC tournament. There's very, very few in the country like him. So I'm really excited for him to get to play on this stage and for everybody to be able to talk about Sincere Carry, because he's got an unbelievable story. And as a player, there's very few like him in the country.
Coach, if you feel free to share more about him for listeners and hear to know more about Sincere, his backstory, if you don't mind.
Yeah, well, his backstory is from Farrell, PA. He was adopted by a family in Solon, Ohio. When he was, younger, he went to Duquesne, which is back in Pennsylvania, and played very, very well there, and was a starter and on the all freshman team. But his happiness and enjoyment for basketball really left him. And that was during COVID, which, we know COVID hit different people in a really different way, right? And he was close to giving up playing. Like, that's how bad it got. He just didn't enjoy playing basketball anymore. He wanted to come closer to home, which, again, Solon is 30 minutes from Kent. And his father is his adoptive father called me and asked if we would want him. And I told him at that point, I said, I've recruited a lot of good players that have chosen to go to other schools. I've never had a good player call me and ask if they could just come without us having recruited them. And, he came, he sat out that year. And I think the love of basketball came back to him because of his comfortability. He then went on to be the MAC Player of the Year last year. And then this year, he was first team all conference and MAC tournament MVP. What an unbelievable 2 years he's had here.
And a story of perseverance, coach, because like you said, he could have gave up many a times. He could have tapped out, but hey, sometimes come close to home gives you that new fountain, that new hope and that new belief and new vision. So I love hearing that about Sincere Carry. And also, coach, another great player, Malik Jacobs, Defensive Player of the Year in the MAC conference. Talk about what he brings to you defensively as well. I watch him, I'm like, this dude can compete. He loves to compete and get on outside of and make another team life for a living. You know what? Let's talk about Malik Jacobs, man.
Yeah, that's what he does. He's the heart and soul of our team. And his competitiveness is what drives these guys day in and day out. And, he will guard 1 through 4. He in the MAC tournament, he guarded a kid named David Coit, who I think is fantastic as a scorer. And he really limited him in that he was a 2 guard. In the semifinals, he guarded Xavier Castaneda, who averaged 23 points a game, who's a point guard. I think Xavier Castaneda shot 5 for 18 in the MAC tournament. And then in the finals, he guarded JT Shoemate, who's a 4-man, who's first team all conference player. JT Shoemate was only able to get 5 shots up against us, and 2 of them were blocked by Malik. He's as competitive a player and versatile a defender as there is. And excited for him too, him and his family, that he's getting to play on this stage because he has earned it. If you, again, his backstory, he went to high school, went to prep school after high school because couldn't find anybody to want him, went to JUCO. That JUCO didn't want him after a year, went to another JUCO, came here during the COVID year, had never visited, never met anyone, just showed up because we were fortunate enough to recruit him. And, last year he missed the first half of the MAC tournament championship game. And this year for him to come back and be able to do what he did, just awesome.
No doubt, Coach. Let's guess, man. Did you feel like dropping that game to Ball State helped reset and recently you guys are able to coach a little bit harder, kind of get guys back focused as far as this streak you're on right now?
Yeah, I certainly think that was a turning point for us. We had a little, we had a team meeting after that game. We had a meeting that I talked with our guys about appreciating each other after that game. So I do think so. I think that was a turning point for us. We were playing pretty well. One of our starters had broke his hand, so we were able to make an adjustment, but we went down there and, Ball State really got into us and we didn't play well at all. And more importantly, we didn't compete for each other in that game the way we know we need to. From that point forward, we sort of had a motto, which was do what we do. Let's stay within ourselves and do what we do. At that point, it had gotten us something like 22 wins or 21 wins and 6. It's what we were after that game, something along those lines. It was like, all we have to do is do what we do. And let's stay within that and appreciate each other. And from that point forward, we haven't lost. And I feel like our guys have really bought into that.
And Coach Cindy, looking at your non-con, you guys have played a tough schedule. You played teams in the tournament very, very closely. Could have won those games. So fans out here are not very much in tune the way I am. You all played some tough teams that could have won those games. So for the listeners out there, tell us about how you feel going into Indiana and knowing that you compete against Power 5 schools at a close level. You could have won those games this year.
Yeah. Obviously, we have a ton of respect for Indiana, right? And whoever we're going to play is one of the top, 15 teams in the country. 4 seed, you're in the top 16. So we know how good they are. At the same point, confidence is not going to be an issue for our players. We have guys that play with a chip on their shoulder. And I think those games in the non-conference, Houston, Gonzaga, gave our kids that confidence. Now, whether we can go out there and do it, we don't know because we haven't done that yet. But as far as believing in ourselves, as far as feeling like, hey, we have a good enough team to do it, that's not going to be an issue. So, Indiana has, an All-American in Trace Jackson Davis. I know I voted for him for first team All-American. Hood Schifino, I think he's a lottery pick from what I understand, or certainly, in that conversation. Oh, that's a pretty talented player right there. And they have other guys that they're at Indiana for a reason. I when you coach at Indiana, you're not taking 2-star players, right? You're getting the cream of the crop in terms of players. So we know they have a really good team. Coach Woodson's obviously a phenomenal coach. He coached in the NBA for a number of years. You're not finding a better coach. So those things we know are going to be tough. But as far as our confidence going into the game, we feel like we can compete with anyone.
Yeah, Coach. He was my first coach here when I got with the Hawks in
Awesome.
07. He was my first coach. So he helped make me the media man. He was my first media guy to deal
Awesome.
with. So he definitely molded me as a media dude, learning from Mike Woodson. And it's fun to see you ball compete because I told him I like Coach Cindy as well, Woody. I'm neutral. I like both of you.
I got you.
Yeah, I like both of you, man. It's very fun to see you all play. And before you go, Coach, give me a good story about our good friend Longo. I say on the radio about Coach, my man Mike.
Of who? Oh, Longobardi?
Yeah, on our staff.
Yeah, listen, Mike is an awesome dude. His golf game is not that good. Me and him, we like to I mean, mine's not that good either now. So we like to hack it around a little bit during the off season. He's a great dude, Mike, who I've been friends with for close to 30 years now. So his success, in the NBA is something that I really admire. And he's such a good dude. The only problem with him is that he loses a lot of balls on that golf course, man. He is hitting them into the woods. He is hitting them into the water. He is not straight, and he's not a great putter. So you can tell him I said that too, and tell him that I'm looking forward to getting a rematch here this spring.
I'll see him at 4 o'clock today at the arena, but I told him I was going to have you on the show today. He's like, "Oh, Cindy, half fun talking to him." So yeah, he was happy here. I'll have you on the show on the show today. So
Awesome.
I'm asking you a little bit about my
Yeah.
man Juan goes, I call it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Awesome, man.
Hey,
Awesome.
Coach, best luck to you. Hope to
Thank
talk to
you.
you next week, man. After you get in the Sweet 16, hopefully.
I listen. I hope I'm getting a request from you. That would be cool.
All right, Coach. See you soon, buddy.
All right, take care now.
All right. BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from pro, college basketball, UFC, MMA, and more. You always find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. With live betting options, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. BetOnline is truly the fastest and easiest way to bet all your favorite leagues and events. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to join and receive a 50% off welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure use the promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, to receive your rewards. BetOnline.ag, where the game starts, was a proud sponsor of the Bossman Show on your radio.